seeking the blessings of the Almighty. Dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to the valedictory session of the India Startup Festival 2022. Since ages, the land of Bharat has been extolled as a Punya Bhumi, Karma Bhumi, Tapo Bhumi, and Tyaga Bhumi. Tyaga Bhumi is a land of sacrifice. And every part of this country has earned glory for having given birth to scores of great personalities. About 100 years ago, one such iconic personage arrived on the scenario of India's struggle for independence. He took charge and he revolutionized the freedom movement by uniting the country and advocating Satyagraha. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi went on to become a Mahatma as he championed the ideals of truth, peace, and as a preacher of non-violence or ahimsa. Gandhiji's birthday, which is celebrated today, October 2nd, is also observed as the International Day of Non-Violence, adopted by the UN General Assembly in the year 2007. Honorable President of India, Ms. Draupadi Murmuji, in her address to the nation said, and I quote, "A century ago, Gandhiji inspired millions with his call of Swadeshi and his stress on self-reliance. The making of an Atmanirbhar Bharat is underway, is thus inspired by the vision of the Mahatma and is intended as a true tribute to him. The India of his dreams is a clean India, a healthy India, and the initiatives taken in this regard have been bearing fruits now." Unquote. It is indeed a momentous day as we join our nation to celebrate the birth anniversary of such a great Mahatma, or as we called him, Bapu, or father of our nation. Today also marks the 118th birth anniversary of Lal Bahadur Shastriji, another great luminary of Indian politics. He served as the second Prime Minister of India who never deviated from the principles and greatly contributed towards India's efforts in self-sustenance and self-reliance. Let us collectively pay our deepest gratitudes to both the great leaders of India. We will commence this evening's proceedings with the Vedic invocation. May we invite our students who are pursuing their BA in Vedic studies to chant verses from the Ishavasya Upanishad.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Ishavasya sarvam yat kincha jagatyan jagata Tena tyaktena bhunjitamagradakasya svidhanam Kurvanneveha karmaani jijivishechataggasamaha Evam tvayi nanyatheto osti na karma lipyate nare Asuryanamate loka andhena tamasa vrutaha Tagaste pretyabhigachanti eke cha atmahano janaaha Ane jadekam manaso javi yonaina deva Aapnuvan purvamarshata Tadhavatonya-nyatte editishtattasmin napoma-atarishva-adadati Tade jati tanne jati taddure tadvantike तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतान्यात्मन्नेवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानन्ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतान्यात्मैवाभूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहः कः शोक एकत्वमनुपश्यातः सपर्यगाचुक्रमकायमव्रणमस्नाभिरग्शुद्धमपापविद्धम् कविर्मानीषे परिभू स्वयं भूर्याथा तत्यतोऽर्थान् व्यददा शाश्वतेभ्यः समाभ्यः ॐ क्रतो स्मर कृतज्ञ स्मर क्रतो स्मर कृतज्ञ स्मर अग्नेनय सुपथा आराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोधस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नमा उक्तिं विधेम ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।
We would now like to extend a token of our love and gratitude to all the dignitaries seated on the dais. Our gratitude to Sadguru Shri Madhusudan Sai for all the love and guidance that he has given the team for this two-day startup festival. Shri J.A. Chowdhury, key architect of this two-day startup festival. Shri Ramani Iyer, co-founder Just Dial Limited. Dr. Arokya Swami Velumani, founder and former chairman and managing director of Thyrocare Technologies Limited. Dr. Ravindranath Kancherla, chairman and managing director, Global Hospitals. Shri B.N. Narsimurthy, Chancellor, Shri Sathya University for Human Excellence. Professor Shri Kantamurthy, Vice Chancellor, Shri Sathya University for Human Excellence. The last 2 days of this startup festival has seen many facets. The riveting speeches of all the dignitaries who were on the dais during the inaugural session, the launch of the 1 Rupee app, the exhibition, the walk this morning for Walk for Peace, the enlightening keynotes to the innovative startup pitches. May we now invite on stage Shri Raja Mukherjee, co-founder of this startup festival, to give us all a summary of the last 2 days. Mr. Mukherjee is a serial entrepreneur, co-founder Corner Dukan, concept creator Gossip Corner in Slate, and with a decade of experience in marketing, sales, corporate restructuring, and business strategy, he's also the founding member of Dr. Reddy's Foundation for Health Education and JRDN Partners. Mr. Raja Mukherjee, please.
Pranam Swamiji. It's such a great feel and such a great conference that we had. Today I started the day with a small quote. It's not a quote, it's a compilation from Mahatma Gandhi, and I want to read it out for all of us. Keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive because your values becomes your destiny. A positive start, and we want to take this forward with a very, very positive note. On a personal front, what I have what I am taking back home is the thought that values are like fingerprints. Nobody are the same, but you have them all over everything you do. And I will do it with wholeheartedly, with lot of dedication. So let me just tell you what all things we have achieved in this India Startup Festival. We had 1,000+ startups who have registered with India Startup Festival. We had 50 stalls exhibiting their great innovative products, services here with us. We had 1,800 online guests who was watching us live for the last 2 days. We had 900+ guests who visited yesterday and today. The Gossip Corner launch, the 1 rupee launch, the C2C launch, the orchestra. It had 8,000 views on our YouTube. Can you believe it? We had startups from 8 states. We had startups from 8 states. And we are only 42 days startup. ISF is a 42-day startup. Can I request my partner Ujjwal to be on the panel with me? So I want to... Done a great job. We all have done a great job. I want to end my talk with a quote from a poem that is core to my heart. It's written by Robert Frost. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. It should remind us of the obligation, the duties that we take forward. So I, along with my team, decided that this conference is not going to be a 2-day conference. This is just the beginning. We are going to connect in small groups. We are going to connect as individuals. We are going to spread the message. We are going to create many more hospitals, institutions, what Swamiji started. We are all with you, Swamiji. And the team, ISF, is going to work along with you to take this journey forward. I request your Ashirwad and your support to give me a team who will work along with me to take this 2-day conference to a revolution. Thank you, Swamiji. Thanks. I'm taking 1 more minute. I just wanted to spell out all my partners who were with me for these last 42 days. I know that I might miss out names, forgive me, but you are all very close to my heart. Thank you, Akshay, Ronak, Rohan, Nidhi, Bindu, Vini, Bhanu, Saurav, Ramkumar, Vijay, Vinod, Pooja, Prashant, Sakshi, Ankita, Rakesh, Dikshit, Manjit, Suman, Lekha, Krishna, Rohit. The list goes on. All are my friends, and just on a call, all of them are with me and to make this event possible. Thanks a lot.
Many founders and founding teams presented and pitched to a range of jury members about their innovative startups. They were ranked on various parameters. May we now invite Mr. Dinanath Harpanhalli, or Dina as he's called, co-founder of ISF, to talk to us about these pitches and also call the winners up on stage. Dina is an accomplished corporate leader, author, avid cyclist, and an entrepreneur. Dina is the creator of India's biggest and the most successful annual cycling event, most notably called the Freedom Ride, that has attracted more than 100,000 participants so far. Dina currently is focused on growing a portfolio of startups that he has conceived and invested in. And before starting his startup and his entrepreneurship stint, Dina was the country head for Invesco in India. And prior to that, he has held various corporate positions in the areas of M&A, private equity, strategy consulting, and financial services technologies. Mr. Dina.
Do I need this?
Thank you. I have, you call it a privilege or a challenge, to present you the story that was behind the scenes. something that you didn't see until now. And just as Mr. J. Chaudhary and I drove out of this ashram 2 months ago, it was Jay's turn, wheels turn very fast. And I don't think we were more than 5 kilometers away from the ashram. He said, we are doing the event. The only thing we didn't have was a name. And I think it took a couple of conference calls that evening to come up with the name, and that happened. And it started unraveling from there. And the vision was set that evening, that we were going to bring in a whole lot of startups, not just because we want to create noise, because we truly believe that that is where the future of India lies. The tech era that probably started mid-80s, and Mr. Chaudhary was, I don't know how many of you know this, he was the person who issued the very first software technology park license in India to Texas Instruments, and they had their office on Miller Road here in Bangalore. And every time I actually used to walk across that street about 6-7 years later. I had a brief stint in Bangalore in Indian Institute of Science, and I always used to wonder, what if that satellite dish on that building is not strong enough? The building might collapse, and these things are heavy structures. So that was the story of tech era in India, mid-80s till about 2015. And what started in 2015 is the startup era, the innovation era of India. What we are seeing now is nothing compared to what we believe is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. It is going to be a revolution, and that was a thought behind picking the best of the startups from this country and taking them through a very rigorous process and finally coming to top 10 winners. And the winners doesn't mean they walk away with a check in their hand. Winners mean they have presented their story extremely well to a set of very discerning investors and policymakers, decision makers. They've created a whole lot of contacts for the networking, not just going around the hall here, but being in a closed room for 15 minutes and presenting their ideas in a way that actually puts that stamp on their value system. As you said yesterday, Swamiji, I don't think it takes longer than that to get that judgment for many people. And that is the process that ultimately ended today. And what ended up happening, and I think I'll get the key statistics on the slides there, you can refer to them. Raja said more than 1,000. Raja actually had a team since last night working on collating all the sources. We had the IIT alumni associations, we had various incubators, accelerators, innovation hubs, corporate innovation programs. There are so many, and they came from so many different sources, so many different formats. Our team finally spent 17 hours non-stop collating the final number, and we have the final number. The number of startups that applied is 1,173. And if at all there is an error in that number, that error is only going to make that bigger, not smaller. Okay, we may have left something. And out of that, through a very rigorous process, and I had a fantastic team, and I'm going to call them. Before I actually call the winners, Swamiji here, I would like to call the team that worked day in, day out for those 45 days or so to get through this process. And the very first, and it was a random number, I understand, it's 500 was our target. So we got to 500 because it's easy to get that initial, the non-qualifiers, you feel. Not it's their fault or anything. They're not ready. They don't have information handy. They don't have the parameters that we need to make a decision as to whether they need to go to the second stage or not. So we got to a 500, the filter one, and already good quality of startups. We struggled for another, I would say, 3 weeks, and got that number down to 181. And finally, we had the very difficult task of getting the 181 to 100. And we actually failed because we got 104. We couldn't eliminate those 4. And there were another 3 or so who walked in. They absolutely wanted to make a presentation today. We said it wouldn't be fair for the people who have gone through a rigorous process, so we actually denied. So 104 against a target of 100. I think any corporate leader will take that. And that was our final. Out of that, we wanted to get 10. And I got the list, I got the score, and I put it in front of J. Chaudhary sir. I couldn't find him for about an hour or so in the afternoon, and I panicked because if he doesn't, make a decision on that, we didn't want to just present at 10 because I had a proposition. I thought the the next 5 were so close to the top 10, it would almost be an injustice not to mention them, right? So we finally decided to get the 15. I have the 15 names here. I'll call them out. Before that, I'll call the team that worked through this whole process. And as they are coming up, and you guys, you know who you are, so please start walking towards the stage, and I will call out the names of those who are shy enough to, stay still in the background. And ultimately, the best satisfaction for all of us was almost every single jury panel member, the investors, the decision makers, the policy makers who came out of that area. And it was all happening in a different area. You probably didn't even see. And I'm glad you didn't see, because it was as chaotic as a startup world should be. and you didn't want this whole ambience to be affected by that. But it was very positive energy. And every one of them walked out and told me they were impressed with the quality of the startups. They were super impressed. They gave me the statistics. And thank you. And the fact that these people came from all corners of India. They just didn't come from Bangalore. Somebody was from Nagpur, somebody was from Patna, somebody was from Delhi, somebody was from Northeast. It was an amazing experience to see all of these people zero in onto this ashram and go through this process. With that, the people who work very closely with me, Ronak, Ankita, and Sakshi, please come over. So these guys worked in the background for a few days. They finally came here. They are from Jabalpur, MP, so I'm sure that takes quite a bit of an effort. Please go over, and you can stand on either side of the dignitary sitting here. And my team at Lifecycle, Manjunath and Priya, and unfortunately a couple of others couldn't join here. Manjunath and Priya, please come over. And we had Manish and Neera from Pune. And as you can see, this team itself is pan-India, right? So, yes, please. And, go ahead, Manish. And we had volunteers from the ashram itself, Swamiji. There were so many people that Satyendra introduced me to, and they jumped in at a moment's notice. And unfortunately, the one who worked hardest actually had to catch, his return travel back, so he's not here. But he worked until about an hour ago, Vijay Patil. So please mention to him that I brought this up. And along with them, Madhu, please come over, Madhu Vadlamani, and Santosh, through this whole process, had the great moment of his life, of, twin babies being born. And I think he probably was thinking if it was just one baby, then he would have had a baby in one hand, a phone in the other. So we said, don't worry, we'll let him relax. But he still jumped on to many conference calls against our best advice, but, helped a lot. And when we came over here, we had only 3-4 days to get a mountain of work done. And we actually, on the fly, recruited some special talent right out of the ashram. And Swamiji, I didn't wait for anybody's permission. I recruited anybody, who came my way. In fact, back when we started our tech career, there used to be a joke on certain companies, don't go near them because trespassers will be recruited, okay? So if anybody coming near me, don't worry, I recruit only on special occasions. But this whole team here, please come over, guys. Aryan, I may forget a couple of names, please forgive me. Datta, Hemant, Shashank, Sai Kumar, Alok. Which name did I forget? So, come on, please. And guys, this is the face of the team that worked on a faceless activity. And thanks to their work, please, I would like to state the significance of this event, because when we call out these names, these are, sort of the life-changing events of a startup. When they go back and quote that we were the winners at the India Startup Festival, investors listen to them, customers listen to them. So this is a fantastic moment for them. And those memorable and valuable moments were created by the hard work of this team and hard work of many others who are not on the stage today, and my sincere gratitude to all of them. With that, let me start with the top 5, 11 to 15. If we can have the slide there, please. There you go. The RA, Dia, Timeless Beauty Secrets, Evray, and Huber were 11 to 15. You will not see their rank, but those were the top. And anybody here, please come over to to the stage. And I think if those investors didn't tire you out, please do run to the stage. With that, we start the top 10, and I'll go in the reverse order, obviously. And I know some of you had to leave because of your travel arrangements, but I do wish many of you are here. This team went out of its way to communicate to you, send messages, send emails, and WhatsApps, many bounced messages, many non-returned calls, but they did their best. So I hope you're here, and please do come to the stage and receive your citation. Banashri Renewable Energy is number 10. And I will call out the other names, but please do come if you're here. Atom State Technologies. There you go. Please. And at number 9 is Ingo. Ingo here? Yeah, looks like you're not just popular among the investors, but also among the audience, so that's good. Congratulations, Atom State and Ingo. And number 8, can you have the slide, please? 10, 9, 8. 10 was Banashri. Atom is, okay, 7. Ingo. Okay, I'm sorry. I have a parallax error on my phone here. Okay. Wing Room at number 7. Wing Room is here. Congratulations. I didn't mean to downgrade you. All right. At number 6 is Microwin. Somebody here from Microwin? Raise of hands. Yeah, we will get your citation later. At number 5 is Axial Aero. No? Okay. So, all right. So at number 4 is Samaro. Samaro here? Yes, please. The next, number 3, Core Tantra. Core Tantra is here. Very good. Number 2, Quantonaut. Yeah, that is startup speed. Good. Last, number 1 is zero touch. Here, there you go. Thank you. Congratulations, all the winners. As I do my final couple of sentences, guys, I think they all deserve a standing ovation. Please. All right. Thank you very much. Please be seated. And as the team here takes its place, back in the audience, one final thought, Swamiji. I think this has been a very, very transformative experience for all of us who are involved in the process. We got to see life of the startups through a very different lens. We got to hear amazing stories, including, I actually heard this an hour ago, and the frustration in the voice when we told them that, look, you're in the top 10. We are not revealing the rank yet. And would you come back? Are you here? They said, no, we're not here. We're gone back to the city. And would you come back? And it's a 2-hour journey for them. So that definitely tells us that the startup should be in the Golden Valley, so that they never have a 2-hour journey next time to come back here. But then I could sense, when my team told me this, I thought maybe there's a better way to do this. So I called that person. And I could sense the disappointment in his voice that he won something and couldn't be here. But what we have taken as the follow-up action from this is it's not ending here. This is just the beginning. We are actually going to arrange a whole lot of follow-through conversations and help them in their next steps. And for all of that, we need all of your support and blessings from you, Swamiji, from all the dignitaries on the stage, from every one of you, as we progress his journey, because I'm pretty sure, I know Jay for 12 years now, and he's not going to stop here, okay? And only way that I can make my life easy, Raja's life easy, and everyone else's life easy is to solicit all of your help. So we hope you're all with us in the next edition of this and then the follow-up actions. Thank you very much.
And there we saw, like Mr. Chaudhary says, his left hand and right hand batsmen, both Raja Mukherjee and Deena, the co-founders of this ISF. A big round of applause to the two of them. And may we please invite their mentor, the live wire behind this festival, Mr. Chaudhary, to deliver his concluding remarks at this valedictory session.
Thank you. Sai Ram. Good evening, friends. At the outset, I would like to thank all the participants, whether they are venture capitalists, investors, company CEOs, CXOs, startup companies, all the volunteers from the ashram, everybody. It's a teamwork which finally resulted in this kind of a grand success. I thought we are going to show you a Bahubali trailer. Looks like this is not a trailer. It looks like it's a Bahubali 1. But as I was telling everybody, this is only teaser because in 40 days, you cannot produce a great movie or great project. That's why in my mind, it's only teaser, it's only trailer. Expect Bahubali 1 soon, which will be on a much bigger scale. And we are going to invite people from all over the globe to come to this ashram and be with us and get connected to the cause. Thank you. After seeing the enthusiasm from all the startups, in fact, many investors, HNIs, particularly from Hyderabad, the Marwadi innovators and investors, Agarwal investors, they particularly mentioned to me that they all wanted to bring their HNIs from all over the country because this is a great cause. And they also mentioned that we need to take this to rural India. They are also not just money-making kind of a thought what they mentioned. Sir, whatever you have started, it has got a lot of potential. And we need to do something for rural India. And we are all there. We can connect to all our Marwadi community, entire India. Then that triggered me a thought process. When people are there with us, and everybody was telling the so-called digital disconnect or haves and have-nots, and we are not connecting to our rural community, we are not connecting to the right kind of causes. Why not ISF create a special fund like ISF Impact Fund, ISF India Impact Fund? Swamiji, if you can bless us, we'll make this fund so impactful so that all the startups who are going to provide the solutions for the rural India, the impact India, the social impact India, we want to, with your blessing, Swamiji, we want to create this ISF Social Impact India Fund with the support of all of you. And of course, there are some big hitters who can hit sixers and boundaries. They are all on the stage. I want to make personal request to all of you to be part of this ISF Social Impact India Fund. I hope you're with me. Dr. Saab, Velmani and Ramani Saab, thank you. I know some of the investors who are sitting here, particularly Dr. Ravindranath Chaudhary, after selling his global hospitals, he decided to give 75% of his entire wealth to create the social impact and R&D in the healthcare and creating a global institution of excellence. So similarly, our Velmani, I am trying to get more what he has done, what he is doing, but his punchlines are great punchlines. Maybe in his speech, he will give one punchline for this India Startup Impact Fund and how he is going to create that punch to make this impact fund really create that impact in India, connecting rural to the urban, connecting people to the noble causes. I hope you are with me, sir. Thank you. And I also request my dear friend and co-founder of India Startup Festival, ISF 22, Ramani. I met him recently. We are now so connected as though he's a part of my family. And whatever I'm thinking, he's thinking in the same lines. And whatever I'm saying, though I have not discussed with him, though he's a co-founder of ISF conference, I have not discussed with any of my partners. Just this thought came to me after meeting some of the people in the evening. I hope all my co-founders are with me to make this happen. Are you with me? Say yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. In fact, the 1 rupee app, whatever, Dina, you made it a reality. I was not sure that that kind of a complex app you can create it within this shortest possible time. Thank you, and your team, entire team has really worked day and night to make that happen. He was getting new suggestions almost on every day, every hour, and he was able to talk to his team. I was observing, and how all those new attributes, new features got included into the 1 rupee app. And I hope this is only version 1.0. Many more versions are going to come. And for your information, after launching our 1 rupee app just yesterday, you know how much money people already contributed? About 1.5 lakhs already has come through the 1 rupee app. This is only a beginning. Not many people know about that 1 rupee app. I think we need to popularize this. Already some of the, in fact, I was talking to one gentleman who met me just about an hour back. Sir, 1 rupee app, whatever you are doing, I have a lot of connects in northern India. I want to take this 1 rupee app as a mission in every city wherever I have got contacts. I don't remember his name. He was one of the, is he here in the audience? Rajiv, can you stand up? So Rajiv Singh mentioned that 1 rupee app, he is going to be the ambassador. Thank you, Rajiv, for taking this as a mission. I want everybody to be like Rajiv. Take this as a mission. In your own circle, start promoting 1 rupee app. Then only this app can really help connecting the cause. Whatever we have collected, that 1.5 lakhs, it may not be much, but it can help at least one child, one poorest child heart surgery in the hospital at the Sathya Grama. So that is the kind of impact. Once, you are able to help one poor child for his heart surgery, he can become a startup company entrepreneur tomorrow, and he can be a great nation builder tomorrow. So that is the kind of impact that what we can make with just 1 rupee. You may think that what is my 1 rupee can do? See, look at this process. Just in one day, 1.5 lakhs, and we are saving a child. What an impact. So these are the things that I wanted to do my remaining part of my journey. With God's grace, whatever my family responsibilities, because my children are here, I indirectly told them that I have a mission. Though my grandsons were always telling, no, Tata, you cannot go to Bangalore you can't leave us from Hyderabad. But indirectly I'm telling, I have a mission. And that's the reason why I came to Bangalore with that as a mission. But with sheer accident, I got connected to this platform, what Swamiji has built. And I'm totally indebted to Mr. Sathya for connecting me to this great platform, because I was looking for a platform. Without platform, because we cannot create free hospitals, we can't create universities which can give free education. But we can certainly see that what we can do to maintain, and maybe we can help Swamiji to create more such free hospitals, more such the universities. In fact, yesterday, when he was addressing some of the select few CEOs, and he was giving in his vision, he wanted to have one hospital, free hospital in every district. Then I asked Swamiji, what is the time window, Swamiji, you have for creating one free hospital in every district in India, because that is a very, very big project. Swamiji said, 20 years, Swamiji? Yes. Swamiji said, in 20 years' time, I'll be able to make it happen. I challenged all my corporate leaders, all the CEOs who are assembled. Can we shrink the time to 5 years? Is it possible? Hello? Is it possible? Can you make it happen? Can all of us make it happen? We should make it happen. Because in 20 years, we don't know how many poor people may die because not having the right kind of hospital, the free hospital in the district. So can we allow those people to die? Can we allow those people to become beggars? We cannot. They're all our fellow citizens. So all of us should make it a point to see that how we can shrink the time from 20 years to 5 years, help the Swamiji's mission to really help a lot of citizens who are living in the rural area in India to get very good health care, very good education, so that they will become the nation builders tomorrow. We can't afford to let them die because of hunger, because of not having good education, because of not having good health care. With this, I once again want to thank everybody, in particular Ashram. Ashram treated us as a family member in this institution. They never, the kind of respect, the kind of discipline, the kind of work they were doing. In fact, I was noticing some of them who are sitting there. They were working on, last minute corrections to the TV cabling and all that. And I invited all the volunteers from Ashram to come up for a photograph. Then I was repeatedly asking them, please come. No, they were not coming. They were not coming for the photo opportunity. They were busy in completing the work there. That is the kind of people that this institution has created. I think all of you should give a standing ovation to those volunteers who are sitting there. Thank you. So it's only beginning of a big journey. We are not even at step 0. As I mentioned, we are a pre-idea stage startup. ISF, we don't have anything other than few names. Definitely we have a big vision. With the blessings of Swamiji, we will make it happen. And once again, a big thank you for all your support. Thank you.
We now pray and request Sadguru to deliver his valedictory remarks.
To all the dignitaries and exemplars in their own field who are adorning the stage here, to all the investors and the innovators who are present in the hall, and all those who are watching us live from their own homes, their own offices, to all of them, I want to convey our congratulations for having conducted this event so successfully. Definitely it was not easy, especially bringing people to a village and making them participate in an event like this. I do not know whether it has ever happened before, but ours is to do the undone, to serve the unserved. And that is the mission of our education, health and nutrition program. And now looks like that is the mission of India Startup Festival, to do what is never done and do it in style as it was. So I want to congratulate and convey, first of all a heartfelt gratitude to all the team members, as we saw some of them here, some of them have already gone, but to all of them who worked so hard for a cause. I think they deserve all our appreciation, and I look forward to many more chapters, many more editions of India Startup Festivals in the years to come. Just a while ago, they chanted Ishavasya Upanishad, a few verses from that. And one of the verses that is very dear to me, which contains the solution to all the world's problem, is in Ishavasya Upanishad. The very first opening verse, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchat jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magrudha kasya svidhanam. It means Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything that you see is permeated by divinity, the Lord. Yat kinchat, whatever you see, inanimate, animate, insentient, sentient, everything is permeated by that one divine energy, one divine presence. So now that you know that this is the truth, how do we behave? Now that we know divinity resides in all, so how do we behave? The second line gives the answer. Tena tyaktena bunjitah. So when you know this, live with a sense of sacrifice, consume with sacrifice. Tyaktena, by sacrificing, bunjitah, consume. So our scriptures don't say don't become rich, don't consume, don't be billionaires or don't have a good life. They say very well you can have by all means, but also alongside there has to be a sense of sacrifice. This is the Upanishadic call. And the next part is even more powerful. I use it often when I have to speak to people from industry. It says, Magrudah kasya svidhanam. Don't take away or don't, snatch away or somebody else's wealth. It says, what belongs to others, don't take it away by force or by any means. Magrudah, don't grab. Kasya svidhanam, that wealth that belongs to somebody else. Now that may sound like nobody does that. Why would somebody do that? There is police, there is law, there is order, and they will catch you. But why did our scriptures say long back, Magrudah kasya svidhanam, don't take away something that rightfully belongs to somebody else. Now, what does that mean? I would like to elaborate. That would be perhaps our parting message. It simply means, you may say, what does not belong to you is something that is owned by somebody else. Let's say that is his car, or that is his phone, or that is his house, that is his money in the bank. So we do not take it from them. That is naturally so. But do you think our scriptures are so light in their approach? There is tremendous depth in what is being said. It simply means all that which you don't need does not belong to you. Only that which you really need in your life alone belongs to you. So what if you have earned it rightfully? So what it is registered in your name? So what it is lying in your wallet? If it is not needed by you, does not belong to you. That is what our scriptures say. It belongs to somebody who needs it more than you. He is the rightful owner of all the resources of the society. So that is the idea of Ishavasya Upanishad, that we live in a way that we consume, but only so much where we are also able to sacrifice. And anything that we have more than what we need, it simply does not belong to us. It is somebody else's wealth. Now, whose wealth is that? It belongs to anybody who has a greater need for it. So I always tell our people, if you are educated, it's your job to educate somebody else who is in need. If you are wealthy, it's your job to share it with somebody who is very poor, cannot take care of oneself. If you are healthy, it's your job, it's your duty to take care of somebody who is unhealthy. If you are sheltered, it's your duty to take care of somebody who does not have a roof over the head. If you are clothed, it's your duty to take care of somebody who does not have clothing. Idea is that if you have anything more than what you need, please use it for the sake of helping somebody, because he is the rightful owner of that extra that you don't need. It's as straight and simple as that. So I have made a matrix. You take an x-axis and the y-axis. On the x-axis, you put giving, and on y-axis, you put taking. So if you put it into 4 quadrants, there are people who always take, but they do not give. I call them capitalists. Most of them, not all, but most of them. Then there are those who give as much as they take. They don't give more than what they take. They don't take more than what they give. There are socialists. They all want the society to have equal resources, equitable, but that's also not possible. It's not worked out, at least in the past 100 years, we haven't seen it working. The third is those who take also less, but give also very less. They are the minimalists. That's a new generation of people. They don't want to take much from society, but they don't want to give also. They're not being a harm, but they're not also being a help to anyone. So that is what. But there is a 4th quadrant. That quadrant gives and does not take. Whatever comes by virtue of giving as a natural process, they're happy with that. They're not working hard to take. They're only working hard to give. And I call them as spiritualists. And now you figure it out which quadrant you want to be in. After coming to this ashram, after having been exposed to all these ideas, please choose your quadrant, is what I want to tell you. While I understand the aim and the idea of the Startup Festival is to promote the startup ecosystem, promote great ideas. We saw some of them being recognized here. I'm sure every idea is great. It's just the matter of probably a little bit of fine tuning, a little bit of recalibrating, and even that idea which is 1172nd in the list also has a potential. No idea is a waste. But sometimes ideas whose time has come, they appeal more to the judges than the others, which will perhaps become more relevant in times to come. So to all of them who have thought differently, who have worked hard, who have tried to do something, solve a problem, howsoever small it might be, to all of them my heart goes out, and I definitely wish them well, that someday whatever idea they have, they must have learnt a lot from this interaction here. They'll go back and to the drawing board and probably relook at what they are doing and trying to do and do it better. And hopefully another time in another place, another situation, their idea also will get picked up and recognized and rewarded. For those who have actually received some recognition of their ideas, definitely congratulations. Please make sure that, come what may, you ensure that your idea prospers and reaches its logical conclusion. I call this as Siddha Sankalpa Bhumi. Bhuvna calls it many names. Bharat Bhumi is Tyaga Bhumi, Tapo Bhumi, Karma Bhumi, Dharma Bhumi, all that. But I call it this place as Siddha Sankalpa Bhumi, because I have seen anybody who has come here and thought of something, it has materialized. If it's a pure thought, it has materialized. Biggest example is this very festival. 40 days ago, Mr. Chaudhary comes, Deena comes, then Raja comes, then Mr. Ramani comes, and then the whole team slowly starts coming. And 40 days you put up a startup festival of this size and magnitude, and with such very well established luminaries in the field of investment, and those who have really run businesses and made it successful and have helped the society in such a big way. They all being a part of it is not an easy thing. Unless there is some kind of a blessing and grace in this land, it won't happen. So I think this is the way forward. Let us find ways to solve the rural problem. That is where my interest lies. I'm sure there are problems everywhere to be solved, but if we can go and serve the rural economy, it will be very helpful. And today when Mr. Chaudhary said that probably a fund that only focuses on this side, that was something that was inside my mind also. That what next? How are we going to take it forward? Are we just going to recognize, pat on their back, and then we don't meet again till next time? Or is something going to come out of it? And he himself was saying that there are some people who showed interest. I said that will be a good idea. But if you can slowly, not just make it an investment fund, but an impact fund. As we know, we were talking yesterday that our success is not about our valuation. It's about the real value that we create in the society, the impact that we create. Many people ask us when looking at our work, do you have an impact report on what you have done? Do you have impact report on your health and education and things like that? I said, for the sake of statistics, I can always produce a report and give you that these many children were operated, this is what the savings to their families are, and things like that. But the truth is that how can you measure the impact that this kind of work creates? How can you measure the happiness of a mother who has almost lost hopes about her child, and we have returned the child safe and healthy back into her arms? Can we ever measure the value of it? Can we measure the impact of it? It's immeasurable. A child's education who goes on to become, who knows, the next Abdul Kalam, next Vishweshwaraya, or next any of you. How can I even measure the impact of that? So I tell, while for, like Mark Twain says, there are lies, damn lies, and statistics. So I can give you statistics. But that won't cover, that won't really measure the true impact of goodness. Goodness is infinitely impactful. So I requested, can you call it an impact fund instead of just saying investment fund? So that people have an idea that this is about creating impact, creating a difference in the lives of people. And Mahatma Gandhi gave up his career as a barrister and came back from South Africa. And you know what he wore, just khadi. He could, before he used to wear a suit and other things, but he just wore khadi, and that too only below his waist, because he saw so many people in India are not having clothes to wear. So he said, I don't deserve an upper garment. He went like this to the round table conference with Winston Churchill. In the same, half-naked saint is what he's called because of that. But he knew what he was doing. He was trying to create an impact on the minds of those who had more, and connect to that cause for those who did not have even upper garment. So he only restrained himself to the lower garment. And he gave charka to every village, to every family. He said, charka is not about you becoming, an industry, a startup, a khadi industry. But he simply wanted to create the sense of importance of why everybody should be independent, everybody should have the courage to take the road less traveled. And that was the symbol of India's self-dependence. That was the symbol of a revolution in Atmanirbharta. And that is why startup economy is so important, because Charka symbolizes a startup. Every person becomes self-employed, every person is spinning the wheel and creating something for people's use. And that is the India we lived in. Before money came into picture, negotiable instruments came into picture, it was a barter system. And I tell you, it was a much better India because we respected each other's trade and crafts. Now with money coming into picture, everything has gone disturbed. A potter who made pots traded it with somebody who made clothes. And both needed each other very badly because you can't store water in clothes, you can't wear pots. So naturally you needed each other. And the value of your product or service was only defined by the need. And you will not store pots. Can you think of a potter who wants to make an investment fund of 1 billion pots he wants to store in his backyard? That won't happen. He has to produce and give it to somebody, even if it's low or high in value, because his need is more important. Also, I want to remind you why you have to associate with organizations like this. It's because in the old times, spiritual organizations were at the center of social development as well. Temples and religious institutions had huge endowments from the kings, from the patrons, from the devotees, and the Lord was considered as the owner. And everybody else was supposed to be the servant of the Lord. Even today, many of the princely states follow that, including Travancore and even in Orissa, the Jagannath temple. The tradition still is that the king is the servant of the Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. He is the real ruler. The idea was that temples used to take care of everybody's welfare. They had gurukulams associated with them where free education was imparted. And teachers were taken care of by the temple. Food was given to every child who came to the gurukulam by the temple. There was a Vaidya or a doctor affiliated to a temple, even a midwife and assistant, who were paid by the temple and looked after by the temple, and they would go and serve the community without any fees whatsoever. That's why Vaidyo Narayana Hari, Acharya Devo Bhava, they were considered gods because they are coming from God's place and doing God's work without charging a penny, just as God doesn't charge us. So also the teachers and doctors were considered that way. And also many other social, cultural programs, and there were trade fairs. Everybody could, like this startup festival, many people could come to the temple premises, could exhibit their craftsmanship. And people appreciated each other's efforts and value. All this was destroyed with colonialism. Because that was the system they didn't want. They wanted industrializing the whole thing, and they wanted everybody to produce mass production of everything so that it serves the purpose of those colonial establishments. It was not for the benefit of Indian society. So while Mahatma Gandhi said Gram Swaraj, production by masses, not mass production, he was right in his own way. At the same time, we also needed technology, science, industrialization. So somewhere we have to find the middle path, not the extreme of industrialization or capitalism, not the other extreme of total socialistic societies and Grama Swaraj. It is something in between. So we want to make this institution as a common ground, as a meeting point for both ends, where great minds like you who run industry, who run businesses with great ideas can come. Also socialists who want to serve the society, spread this resources and distribute it equally to the others, they also come together. And one small step that you have taken yesterday is, it was an idea, a 1 rupee app launch, and today I was told that these many steps people have walked, so many people downloaded the app. It may not be a big number, and he said that around 1.45 lakhs or something has been contributed by this afternoon for this. You may think that may not be much, especially even for an institution the size of ours. It's just a grain in the, or a needle in the haystack kind, that is the size. But for that child who is going to get operated and get fully paid operation, for that child and that family, it means a lot. I go to our hospitals and I talk to the parents whose children are being treated. And you would be happy to know that by the time you had your morning tea and by the time you'll have your dinner, at least 28 to 30 children in our hospitals would have got operated today. And they all would have been saved and sent back home. And thousands would have been consulted too. So that is the potential of a day's work. However, for that, when I talked to these parents, they generally told me that they had already taken loans up to the tune of 2 to 4 lakh rupees before even they found our hospital and came here. Because they had gone to consultants, they had gone to other hospitals, they've spent a lot on their diagnostics, they spent a lot on consultations from one hospital to the other, travel, renting, place to stay near the hospital. So all this had already made them poor by 2 to 3 lakh rupees or 4 lakh rupees. And and after that they had come here. And I felt bad that we could have saved that 4 lakhs also for them had they come to know about us a little early. So please tell this story to more people so that they come to know that such centers also exist and they don't wander around taking loans, selling their property for really no good reason. Because anyway they're going to get everything free at the end. So that child who's nameless, faceless, voiceless as I say, who's going to be saved with this one day's effort on this Gandhi Jayanti, one day's effort, is going to be a contributing citizen of the country tomorrow. We have pulled out a whole family from the vicious cycle of poverty. Otherwise, father would have taken a loan. Because of the loan, which interest will go at 30, 40, 50% in village levels, would have made them poorer by the day. And other 3 children who are born healthy, they also will not have education in future because of one child who was born unhealthy. So that is the vicious cycle of poverty and paid health care. So you have saved that child and the whole family. It might have taken all of us to do it, but doesn't matter. For that child is the whole world. For that family, it's everything. And I was just calculating our GDP is maybe $2,300 today. And PPP basis maybe $8,000 plus. Imagine 25 years down the line, this child goes through this education institution, finishes his education, comes out as an engineer, a doctor, a businessman. Even if just an ordinary contributing Indian and contributes even in today's term $2,500 per year to the country's GDP, in 25 to 30 years of his life, he would have contributed probably $250,000 worth of contribution to the society. So this 1,45,000 rupees has actually created that kind of value, maybe close to 2.5 crores of value for the country. So please do not underestimate the power of good. When we all do a little bit for others, this happens. I'll give you one example here itself. I don't know whether those children here, but there was a child, many children are being operated in hospitals in Palwal, Raipur here, and we have given them a direct admission into our educational institutions. We said that is like Mother Devaki who gives you a second life, and this is like Yashoda which will take care of you and look after your welfare. So all children get a direct admission who have been operated. Unfortunately, most children are infants, less than 2 or 3 years age, so they will come after 4 or 5 years. But those who are operated, they directly get admission here, they get a complete education till they become whatever they want to become. And most of the children who have been operated, they say, I want to become a doctor. Naturally, they're inspired by the service that they have received. So this is the impact that we can create. And upcoming medical college, I would like to speak about it a bit because what we are doing in our universities is we are creating teachers and doctors because there's a huge deficit of them. At this point of time, in India, 10 lakh teachers are missing from schools. And a country which is growing by 2.5 to 3 crores every year in population terms, children are being born. They're all born in rural areas. And the schools are empty. There are no teachers. One teacher takes class from class 1 to class 5th or 6th. And recently, after COVID, the primary school enrollment also has fallen. Higher education enrollment is less than 25% in our country. It means 75% of the students who pass from 10th or 12th do not join any university. They are on their own. We do not know what's going on there. Imagine the loss of skilled workforce. And in rural India, only 1% of women go to higher education. That's 50% of the country's women. 70% of them are rural women, let us say. That is the kind of numbers that don't go to education at all. So how much of loss of GDP or whatever terms you can say. So that is the problem that India is facing. We don't have teachers. We ourselves struggle with teachers in the rural area. So we started producing teachers from our university. Same problem happened with doctors, nurses, and paramedics in rural areas. Therefore, a medical college to support creation of doctors, nurses, and paramedics. So this is the idea how to fill that gap in the society, that there are no good teachers, not enough teachers, and no good doctors, not enough doctors. So both of them are being worked in these institutions. I invite you to be a part of this wonderful celebration of humanness, of human goodness, which can create an impact that is immeasurable. If we want to see a developed country, a successful country, a prosperous country, prosperity cannot happen in pockets. It has to percolate down to the last person. That we will call ourselves a developed nation. I would never define ourselves a developed nation if our GDP on top grows, but the last person still starves. And leave you with Gandhiji's thought, when he says, there is a thing called Gandhiji's talisman. He says, whenever you are in doubt and when your self becomes too much with you, recall the face of the poorest and the weakest person you have seen. And ask yourself whether this decision that you are going to take is going to restore any sense of control over his destiny, his or her destiny. Will it make that person's life any better? And then you will see all your doubts melt away. Because you know that this decision is not going to help that last person, so it is not worth taking this decision. That is the talisman he had given long, long ago. Even today it is valid. So any decision that you make in terms of investment, business, or any work, ask yourself whether this decision is going to help that weakest and the poorest person you have ever seen in your life. Recall that person's face and ask this question, whether this decision is going to impact that person's life, put him in some control of his life and destiny. If yes, go ahead by all means, God's grace is with you. If you do not have that answer, I think you must do some soul searching before you take the next step. So that is the lesson that you must take from this village, Sathya Sai Grama. And I hope to see you all soon again, definitely sooner than the next Startup Festival. You can visit as well-wishers, you can visit this place as a member of this family and organization. You are most welcome. And I'm sure those who have stayed here overnight, they would know that we take care of our guests very well. Atiti Devo Bhava. So our children will look after you. That is all that I want to say. And finally, when one person, a very enthusiastic startup person asked me, Swami, can you, this is the boy. He's from Delhi. हाँ? एक बात बोलो अपने बारे में. दिल्ली से आए हो फिर इधर पढ़ रहे ना?
हाँ.
नाम बोलो.
मेरा नाम युवराज है. मैं अभी यहाँ पर श्री सत्य साई लोका सेवा गुरुकुलम में 8th क्लास में पढ़ रहा हूँ. स्वामी ने मेरी बहुत मदद करी है. 2 साल से मैं यहाँ पे पढ़ रहा हूँ. मेरे मम्मी पापा वहाँ घर पे बहुत खुश है. मेरे पर ऑपरेशन मेरा 2 साल पहले हुआ था. स्वामी ने पूरा मुफ्त में करा. मेरे मम्मी पापा इधर से उधर घूम रहे थे, कर्ज ले रहे थे, सबसे पैसों के लिए मांग रहे थे, इधर से उधर ढूंढ रहे थे. पर जैसे ही स्वामी के बारे में हम अच्छी बात ये थी कि हमें पहले ही पता चल गया कि स्वामी का ऐसे अस्पताल है मुफ्त का. और हम तभी जैसे ही पता चला वैसे ही हम पैक करा सारा 2 दिन का कपड़ा और उधर ही जाकर बस उन्होंने बोला कि आप 2-4 महीने के बाद ऑपरेशन करा. उसी समय मेरे मम्मी पापा बहुत खुश हो गए थे. स्वामी
अभी ठीक है तुमको?
अभी मैं बहुत
नहीं होती, खेल सकते हैं.
हाँ,
पढ़ भी सकता है,
भाग भी सकता हूँ.
भाग भी सकता है. और आगे क्या करेगा बड़ा होके ना?
आगे बड़े होने के बाद मैं एक डॉक्टर बन के ऐसी सभी बहुत सारे लोगों की स्वामी के हॉस्पिटल में मुफ्त में सर्विस करना चाहता हूँ.
Is Yuvraj from Delhi. Like that, there are so many Yuvrajas in making. They're waiting to happen. This is the real startup. You invest in a human. That's the real startup. It's infinite return on investment. So very good. So I just wanted to produce this case. So I'll go back to that startup company which said, Swami, please bless us with a lot of money so that we can do lot of seva. I told you, do lot of seva, I'll bless you with lot of money. Because when you do seva, it's guaranteed that you will make money. But when you make money, there is no guarantee you will do seva. So please take the right step first, which is to do service. Prosperity will follow. So with that faith, please go back from here to do good to the society wherever you are in whatever capacity, and God's grace will be with you. Whatever you do will succeed, will prosper, and it will bring prosperity to more people. Think of others first before yourself. That is our country's culture. May you all practice this in small and big way wherever you go. Once again, thanking everyone who has been a part of it, and especially the great luminaries who have set trailblazing examples for all of you to follow. And they are going to be mentors, they are going to be guides also, and they are going to be associated with this cause for a long, long time. I am sure that will lead to a much, much more prosperity and happiness, health, education, nutrition for all children of our country and the world someday. So hoping that and praying that everybody be happy, healthy, and everybody is prosperous. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkham apnuyat. Om shantihi, shantihi, shantihi.
I request all our ISF co-founders to come onto the stage to have a group photo with Swamiji.
Swamiji, just want to tell, my Spike team just confirmed like we had 9,800 users in the last 2 days. So that equivalent to 9,800 rupees. My Ingo team told like they have 11 kilometer of ride, of test drive, which is coming to 1,100 rupees. It started very small. I'm sure that more and more people are going to use such service and will keep on contributing to the cause. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will have a 10-minute break, and this will be followed by a Carnatic vocal performance by Padma Shri awardee Srimati Aruna Sairam. Thank you.